Oftentimes, as a promotional rep, you'll conduct what's called focus groups, where you'll bring in a bunch of people to look at a new product prior to launching it. The value of that is that you're getting real-time, real-world feedback from end consumers. One of the disadvantages of this, though, is that because it's usually a community-based project where you'll have several people sitting around a table, one person's impressions or overview of the product may affect a person sitting next to them. So you may get some skewed data from that, and it may actually be maybe not so truthful, so to speak, in the grand scheme of things. An animatic test, or basically a way of pre-testing content before it's unveiled to the end consumer, ensures that a video or TV type ad is going to reach the end consumer based on preliminary audio and video that's been shot around that ad campaign. As a promotional rep, you'll probably be working with a brand manager who essentially oversees and approves all of the brand content and ad campaigns. And this is important because it's a chain of command that essentially says you as the promotional rep, you may be going out and getting and gathering that content, but the brand manager is going to sign off that this is essentially what we want and we're going to move forward with it. In the still sports world, it's very common to see action or image-based advertising because from a functional level, it's very difficult to differentiate between your competition. So if we think about, like, say, a ski or snowboard boot, we can talk about the features, we can talk about the benefits, but it's still kind of just a boot in a lot of people's minds. So to really convey that in a clear, concise manner through a one-page ad or a social media blast or something along those lines is difficult. So we'll use imagery to help reinforce that that feature, that benefit, that gain that person's going to get from buying that product. The dramatization technique in advertising basically says that we're going to use something like fear to reinforce our campaign. So an example of this would be if you think about a first-time skier or snowboarder trying to learn on hard pack ice as opposed to soft, powdery snow. They're going to drive that message home that wouldn't you rather learn in a comfortable, inviting environment that's going to be conducive for you to learn how to do this, or would you rather get beat up on the hard-packed ice? That's using fear to reinforce their ad campaign. When a manufacturer is evaluating their distribution, they're going to look at what they call reach, or their ability to get their product out into the public's hands. And so as we think about when brands need to make cuts or where they may make changes to territories, it's looking at what is the reach. Do they have a good reach or is it a poor reach? And if there's a poor reach, maybe they need to change that rep out with somebody else. Maybe they need to redivide the territories. Maybe they need to look at the product offerings in those territories. But essentially, they've got a poor reach and their advertising campaigns are not helping this. So, as we look at any of those kinds of distribution models, we're trying to pair that with our marketing and making sure that that marketing campaign is reaching the end consumer and growing the manufacturer's business. As a brand manager or a promotional manager, you are probably going to be looking at ad content and signing off on the physical arrangement of the ad. So, if you think about a page or a social media ad, where is the athlete, where is the product, where is the messaging, how does that all work together? What is the look of it? Is it a continual ad that's going to have multiple pieces to it, and that means it's going to have the same look, maybe month to month or week to week, or whatever the case is. But that's an important part of deciding what the campaign is going to be and how that campaign is going to be executed, so that everybody that's participating knows what needs to happen in order to make sure that this hits the mark that you're trying to achieve. So after the ad's been shot, all the post-production elements require agency approval, because somebody's got to sign off on the music, somebody's got to sign off that the photos are correct, that's the ones that they want to go with. If there's any kind of, like, say, model release in this particular case, maybe the person in the ad is not an actual paid athlete, but is just a model. There needs to be signatures on that, and that's all handled by the ad agency or the brand manager in terms of signing off and making sure that the content's correct and that you're ready to move forward and actually put it out into the public's eye. So when we talk about reach, that's basically the number of people that have been reached, or the exposure of that ad per person that has been obtained from that advertising campaign. So you can think about reach as how many eyeballs have seen this particular ad. With that, frequency is the number of times that same person's been exposed to that ad. So maybe I saw it on a billboard, maybe I saw it in a magazine, maybe I saw it on the internet. There's a lot of different ways to create different media channels so that I'm exposed to that ad through different mediums. And it may take time for that to sink in. It may take, a few viewings before I actually realize what's going on with that ad. And that's important to remember because you don't always want to put all of your eggs into one type of media campaign. Social media is great, but you may want to reach out and go through some other mediums as well to reinforce that ad through multiple tiers or to reach different types of target markets.